Hey, you guys, how's things? Hope everybody's doing well. And if you are working along on well, I guess you don't have the cornmeal bags yet, but if you're doing some kind of farmhouse style journal or whatever, or even just, watching, thank you for that. And yeah, I hope you're making progress. So I wound up with two different sizes of journals. Just based on the bags that I had. So I will show you those again here in just a second, but well, a few minutes. But where I'm at now is I have picked out papers and whatnot that I want to fill the journals with. So I've basically just gone through my stash, pulled out stuff I want to use. If it needs to be trimmed or cut down or whatever, that's what I've done. And so I like to do some kind of paper bag in just about every journal that I do. These are going to be single signature, so I just pulled one bag. And I think what I'm going to do on these is do like some kind of little flap on them, some kind of, something to fold over, and maybe, do a magnet or something to hold it closed. I don't know. I have to decide on that. But so anyway, I pulled some of those and I did fold those little flaps over, just, and then some little, these are the divider cards from the flashcards the set of flashcards that I have. So I wanted to use some of these, and I love the orange color, and they wound up being a little too long. So I just folded them over, and I'll probably wind up attaching something on here, something, I don't know. So I've got those, one for each journal. So there's 6 of this size. So each of these things, I just have 6 of in these little bundles. Let's see, what else did I put in here? So I've got some pages from those small photo album, the small photo album. It's a really old photo album, but the paper is pretty sturdy and it stands up to folding pretty well. So I'm going to use some of those. And then I have a bunch of end pages from Reader's Digest books that I've gutted, and I always save those. So some of them I folded off center so I can stitch something else onto this side or something. And then this side is, long. And then some I just folded in half. So each journal will have 2 Reader's Digest pages. What else? Oh, and then these are the fabric collage pieces that I scanned. I printed some of them, and then I just printed some grid paper on the back. And then I went through my scrapbook papers, and I haven't been using scrapbook paper that much lately in any of my journals, but I had a bunch that I thought would work well with a farmhouse kind of theme. So I basically just pulled anything that had like a wood grain pattern, or, kind of reminded me of a farm or a quilt, or, something like that. I love this red because, it's almost like ticking, or like barn red or something like that with the stripes too. There's some more wood grain. And I thought the pattern was pretty cool. It sort of reminded me of a quilt. So yeah, and like the apples and whatnot. And I thought that the little floral patterns worked really well with this kind of theme. Yeah, so some of these are just paper, like thinner paper. And so I think there's 2 that are like a thinner paper for each journal, and then 2 that are like a cardstock. Okay, so one of these will be the very first page in the journal, and then another one somewhere in the center. Okay, so, and then 2 of those, 2 of each for each journal. And then what else? I pulled some of the bank ephemera, and so I just did, a canceled check, folded in half for each one, and then each one will have an envelope in the center. And then these are the Montgomery Ward's order forms, and I printed those off Luckily, they lined up pretty well, so I printed them front and back. So you get just like, you know, front and back. Some of the printables that I have in my shop from the children's reader, I printed those on some vellum, and some more like handwritten bank letters and some atlas pages, some cookbook pages, that kind of stuff. I did take apart a couple of children's books that were like about farm animals and things like that. So those will go in there. Now I have these pocket pages that I made with this really cool pamphlet on how to use bananas in recipes and stuff. So I may include these. I'm not sure. It depends on how thick these get. I feel like this size cover can handle a little bit more pages than this one for some reason. I think because fewer pages will be folded in these because it's wider, and also I think it'll have a little bit more coverage. Like when the journal closes, I think it'll be, you know, more able to sort of envelop a larger number of pages, because these are just going to be one signature. So anyway, and then just ledger pages, papers out of, you know, accounting notebooks and things like that. So you know, some just notebooks from my stash, some ledger from the bank, grid paper, and that kind of thing. Okay, so what I need to do now is kind of sort this stuff out. Well, it's already kind of sorted, but I need to lay it out into 6 piles using some of each item in the pile. Okay, and then those will get sorted. Those will get sorted into the way that they're going to be in the journal. So this is kind of how I do it. So I've got 6 of everything. Okay. Well, some stuff I have more than 6, but you get the point. So I'm just gonna, so basically what I think I'm going to do on this set is I'm going to try to lay these out the way that I want them to be in the journal in the end, right? So actually, hold on. Hold the phone, back up. So I want the envelope to be in the center. So that's going to be the first item that I lay out. Okay. And why I'm doing that. Okay. So then I want to put ledger pages. Okay. And then let's do, these are a little bit wide. So you do want to think about if you have pages that are, you know, like just wide enough for your cover, consider putting those pages closer to the front of your book. Okay. Because what happens is when you stack up 40 pieces of paper, it has a tendency to push the center ones out, right? Because, you know, there's a thickness of paper that's going to be in the spine, and those things are going to wind up sticking out a little bit. So anything that's like just long enough, I don't want to have it, you know, sticking out in the end. I want it to still be the right width. You know what I'm saying? So those I'm going to wait and put those in towards the beginning. Anyway, so then this is just, so these things I know are not going to stick out if I put them in the center. So then I'm also trying to make sure that I have a good variety, and like, you know, I don't have all the book pages all in one, you know, section, and I've got just a nice kind of flow of textures and different types of paper and whatnot. Okay, so now I want to find something like this. So I'll do this green. I still have my little piles over here, but I'm picking out which item I want to use next. So then I think I'll do my envelope or my paper bag. I have a couple extras of those. And then let's see. Then I'll do some kind of book page. So these atlas pages are kind of wide, so I want to maybe hold off on doing those. Do those towards the end. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is such a cool old cookbook. Okay, so those are other cookbook pages. And that ephemera. Just trying to keep my piles organized here. Okay, and then let's do the oh God, am I missing one? Oh, great. What happened to it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. And then a different kind of like grid paper or something like that. So let's do this. Okay, and then how about these? Why do I keep running short on this stuff? I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. I knew I have. Oh, there it is. Okay, found it. Thanks, guys. Okay, and I also am trying to make sure that everything is right side up so that I don't have to worry about it, you know, down the road. I want something like taller. I don't want to put like two little skinny things right next to each other. So let's do a piece of this lighter weight paper. And I need to get this stuff in there. So I do have these smaller little, it's like a little address book that I took apart. And then I'll do one of these. Okay. And let's do another book page. So taking the time to do this now actually does make a big difference in saving time later. So now I'm going to do these cards. It's kind of like divider cards. And let's put in these, some of this blue grid paper. When I do a larger series of journals where I'm going to have multiple signatures, I don't do this. I do it a little bit different, where I'll sort out the whole pile and then I sort it into signatures for each journal. Okay, and then I want to do, getting closer to the end. Okay, so I want to pick out which pages I want to be the first page in each journal. Okay, so all right, so the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, those are going to be my last pages that I put in. So I just wanted to set those aside just to be sure that, you know, sure that I hold those out. Okay. Let's do that. All right. And then more. Let's do this. Another page of this green notebook. And then I'm also going to just do a piece of this yellow ledger. Okay, and then let's do these. The other Reader's Digest page. And a book page. Okay. I already did those. So let's put the children's book pages in. And another, let's do this green. Actually, let me do these little notepad pages, and then we'll do another, then we'll do the green grid paper. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to do another page of the just paper, scrapbook paper, the lighter weight scrapbook paper. And one more book page. Oh, I guess there's some. Okay. Those are extra things. I have some glassine paper that I cut down to use in these guys. And then let's do the atlas page. And some of this just white notebook paper. This came out of like a little binder, little notebook binder. Okay, that's extra. And then we'll do this grid paper. Okay, I'm going to put these pockets in here, even though I'm not 100% sure I'm actually going to use them, but I'm going to put them in there anyway. And then if I need to, I can take them out if they're too thick, or I can maybe take out something else. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, so that's all my pages. And then the last page to go on is going to be the first page in the journal. Okay, so this is my stack. So then I'm just going to kind of collate these over here, separated by the envelope and that first page. Okay, so here's my pile, and I have everything basically in the order I want it. So then what I do is I flip this over, and then I'm just going to lay everything out. So the spines of all the pages are on the right hand side. So I just take everything, whoops, I grab each page, open it up with my hand, with my fingers, and lay it on. And I try to stagger them a little bit, and it doesn't matter if they go too high or too low, because they're going to all get kind of scooched together anyways. I just think that this method is easier than, you know, trying to change around. Oh, I didn't realize there was 2 there. Rather than trying to change around full pages and, you know, putting them in different positions and stuff. I just think this is just easier to make sure that I have a good variety and a nice flow, you know. And this is a lot. Like, this is a lot of paper for a single signature book, I think. But I think it'll be okay because it is a relatively small journal, and it's not real heavy. Like, if I was doing multiple signatures in a journal, I definitely wouldn't want to make them this thick, for sure. You can stitch 2 signatures into a pamphlet style journal like this, and you can even stitch them into the same holes. I've seen people do that before, and I've done it before too, but I don't think we're going to do that on this one. So then there's my stack, and then I just kind of scooch them all together, and that's my journal. Now let's see how it's going to fit in here. See, so not many of them are sticking out. I need to scooch this a little bit more. There we go. Because I know that I made sure when I was cutting these that pretty much that I didn't really go taller than the journal cover. So I'll need to adjust some of these a little bit. I might need to trim them a teeny bit, but you know, pretty much everything is fine, you know. So I think that using that pocket page is going to be okay in these. So I think I'll go ahead and leave it in there, you know. So like I said, that is a lot for a single signature. If I decide that I want to do it in 2 signatures, then I'll have to do some rearranging, but I don't think I will. I think it'll be okay like this. I really do. You know, everything is laid out pretty well. So see why I like to do, when I'm laying those out, I do some low and some high, because then they just wind up being that way. And then I don't have to think about that again. Okay, so then each one gets a rubber band. So all of these are done the same way. And then the next thing that I'll be doing is going in and, well, first I'll finish the rest of those, the rest of these 6. And the next thing I'm going to do is go back and kind of, and I want to actually stitch in some additional card and paper and some sort of like embellishments into the journal before I bind it. So I need to finish these, and then I will come back. I'll just, you know, I'll end this video here, and then I'll come back and do another one when I'm ready to start stitching that stuff in. So, okay. So yeah, that was good. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in a little bit. Okay. Bye for now.